Yeah, all right. Thank you, DJ, for that. That was the national anthem, then the women's anthem, and then our lovely university anthem. I hope we all start getting used to the anthems. So let's keep standing and then have a prayer. Then we can take our seats later. In the mood of prayer, all of us. Heavenly Father, we come to you grateful for this day that we are having, gathering here as Mara University to celebrate International Women's Day. We acknowledge your importance in our lives. We acknowledge your importance in our studies, in whatever we are doing, Father, we as ladies. And my Father, we thank you for having this prepared, the organizers, the administration, with the students and us that have come in person. We pray that you make this day a success so that when we are getting out of here, we move out with our courage, knowing that we are beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made as ladies to accelerate action. And shall you give us the grace to have this day happen very well and continue to lead us to making more impact in our communities. In Christ's name, I've been able to pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Promise. I would love to request our speakers of today to take up their seats.
United in God's love, sisters in grace, looking to Jesus to lead us each day. We are women, women of faith. We are women, women of faith. United in God.
So on our agenda, we have arrivals, which has already happened. We have the national anthem and prayers. We have welcoming remarks and the purpose of the event by Miss Maureen, our Deputy Dean. We have a speech from our Minister of Gender and Guidance, Honorable Marianita. And then we have a speech from our Guild President, who's not yet here, but should be here with time. We also have a period. We shall have a talk from the period Talk Uganda. Then we shall have our breakfast, and then we shall continue from there. I'll read the other part of the agenda. So, right about now, we are going to have our opening remarks from Miss Maureen.
Thank you, Mercy. Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maureen Kahima Tonjirwe. I'm the Deputy Dean of Students. I think that should be clarified. When you say Deputy Dean, it's like I'm the Dean of the university, which I'm not and I will never be. Happy Women's Day. Hey, have some vibe. Happy Women's Day. This is our, let's do this. Happy Women's Day. Yes, this is the logo for our theme, which is Accelerate Action for Gender Equality. First and foremost, mine is very brief. Welcome remarks. I want to welcome you to this event, and I want to thank Marianita for putting this together. This young girl has energy. I wish I could get half of your energy, then I don't know where I'd be, but she really put in a lot of effort. She has done a lot of activities. This whole week, I don't think she has studied. So thank you so much, and your team, for pulling this off and putting it together. Just a few remarks. Beijing, we hear of Beijing, was it 1985? The Beijing platform, when all these women's agenda started. And it has been a that a lot has been achieved. We've made many, many giant strides. I remember when I was in Makerere many, many years ago, most of you were not yet born. You'd find in a class, you are like 2 girls or 1, or in certain programs, you wouldn't find ladies there. You'd find like 1 or 2, and they would have challenges. Because the moment a lady would get pregnant, then they would say, you are not capable of studying. Those girls were made to repeat in those years. I want to believe the story has changed in Makerere.
The first thing about it is relating to overall and social well-being. The next part is about having access to menstrual education. The third point is about resources and facilities. And the last is to receive support and to be free from stigma during the menstrual period. So, to achieve optimal menstrual health, every country still has a very long way to go. And these challenges are especially relevant within the context of Uganda. So as we've seen, menstruation in Uganda has been politicized with unfulfilled promises by the president made almost 10 years ago to ensure that every schoolgirl has access to free menstrual pads. Menstruation has also been ignored in city planning and designs. So for example, in some public toilets within Brar City, there is no place to dispose of a used pad, have a risk of infections, so people often avoid even using them half the time. And even at home, women and girls struggle to dispose of pads. They are told not to put them in the pit latrines, yet they also fear throwing them away with the other garbage because I've been told that dogs can get into them, or women and girls fear that maybe their pads will be used for bad purposes such as witchcraft. So menstruation has also been silenced, and many women I've spoken with have told me that they would not feel comfortable discussing menstruation in public or even with some of their family and friends. And whilst we have these conversations, I'm also told that menstruation is a very normal process. So you can see here that there's a paradox in kind of what's going on. Women and girls must manage their menstruation, but on the one hand, it's taught to be concealed, and they lack the appropriate education and other resources to manage it in a way that is socially acceptable. Additionally, menstruation is viewed as being normal, yet it is inappropriate to discuss in public spaces or with certain people. So if we can all agree that menstruation is a normal process, whereby girls and women have the right to menstruate with dignity and comfortability, how can we better support them to avoid and prevent these challenges that I've just discussed? So to start with, we can refer to organizations like Period Talk Uganda to the work they are doing. Period Talk Uganda is a dedicated movement to eradicating period poverty and dismantling menstrual stigma. We are committed to fighting period poverty through dismantling menstrual stigma and having creative, positive, and educative ways to support safe spaces where women and girls can access proper menstrual hygiene management. Our work spans across advocacy, education, and direct support for those affected by period poverty and stigma, ensuring that dignity and human rights are respected in all communities that we serve. So our vision in this charity is to create safe and inclusive spaces that are free from menstrual stigma and where period poverty is not a hindrance to achieving one's goals in life. So, in working to achieve our goals, Period Talk has several projects spanning across outreach events in slum areas and schools. The organization has helped over 1,000 women and girls, including areas in Barara like Chiseni and Katete, in addition to other schools and orphanages across Barara and Uganda as a whole. Period Talk has set up partnerships with several universities. As we previously heard, we've also set up one with Uganda Christian University and MUST. We previously heard about the event held yesterday, where it was hosted between Period Talk and MUST, providing reusable pads and menstrual education to almost 300 school children. So during this session, we answered questions from girls, such as how often do you menstruate, or how can I ask my parents for money for pads? So these are all very valid and essential questions for young girls to be asking, and it's imperative that they have the access to this information. So when we're reflecting upon this question of what can we do to support menstruating women and girls, donating to organizations like Period Talk is one way to show your support. You can also look to volunteer with outreach events or other organizations that you know of that aim to reduce menstrual stigma and period poverty within Uganda. However, these are not the only ways that we can show support for women and girls. There are also individual and personal ways that we can challenge menstrual stigma within our daily lives. So I want us all now to imagine a situation. Imagine you're walking on a road in a village with a close friend of yours. This can be your home village or one that you frequent here. Now, on this walk, you see a used pad. And so when you see this used pad, what do you say about it? What do you think about it? Do you point it out to your friend and say, oh, this is disgusting and gross? Or do you ignore it and do you keep walking? If we point out the pad and use words such as dirty or gross to describe it, that is contributing to menstrual stigma. When we frame menstrual blood as dirty, we are indirectly saying that menstruation is dirty. Now, I want us all to think of another scenario. Imagine you're at your house hanging up your washing at home, and you see somebody hanging up small cloth pieces that you think could be used for menstruation. Again, what do you think about it? Do you think that these pieces should not be seen in public? If so, why do you think that? Where does this come from? And again, what makes menstrual blood this dirty and secretive thing in comparison to other blood that we may see, let's say from a cut on our finger? The ways that we frame and describe menstruation do matter in our daily lives. if we refer to menstruation as a dirty and secretive process, women and girls, and maybe even ourselves, will view menstruation in that way. By continuing this narrative, menstruation will not be talked about, women and girls will lack the appropriate education about menstruation, and they will also lack support from their partners, family, or friends during menstruation if they need it. So I want to take a moment here to refer back to something I said earlier for me. So for me, menstruation and the ability to experience has really shaped my identity as a woman significantly. These stigmas I have discussed around menstruation do not only exist in Uganda, they were present in my own upbringing in the United States, and they exist in every country today globally still. But if I am constantly told by people in my life, like my partner, family, or friends, that a natural process that my body does should be concealed and is unclean, that is going to significantly impact how I view myself and my body. It took a lot of time, education, and awareness about my body and about my menstrual cycle for me to stop being embarrassed and ashamed of it. I remember I used to get very red in the face when I was a child. Anytime somebody would ever mention the word menstruation around me, I remember thinking when I was younger that I could wish I could control my period and make it only one day long and not have any of the pain or tiredness that came with it. But now, as a 27-year-old woman, I enjoy being able to menstruate and I embrace what comes with it. Menstruation is a normal biological process that indicates that my body is healthy and functioning as it should be. And even when we think about menstrual blood, it is some of the only blood produced from the body that is not shed from an act of violence. And that's quite remarkable when we consider it in this way. So, in my opinion, it is empowering to be in tune with your body during your menstrual period and to learn and understand how you can support and care for yourself, but also how you can ask for support when you need it from others. So I can stand here today and say that the definition I gave earlier about menstrual health, that I can achieve that and I can menstruate in a way that gives me dignity and happiness. I have access to the products that I want, I have access to the education that I need, and I have people in my life I can speak to about it if I so choose to. However, as I've said, achieving optimal menstrual health is still a very distant dream for many women and girls. So I hope that as I have been speaking, I have prompted you to reflect on the ways that you discuss menstruation, perceive or maybe experience it. Whilst you may not agree with everything I have said, it's my desire that this can prompt a discussion about how we can begin to reframe menstruation in our own lives. So a lot of change comes from grassroots levels, and the ways that we discuss issues like menstruation and menstrual stigma with our friends, families, and communities really does matter. And whilst it will be ideal for the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Gender to work towards providing free and/or affordable menstrual products to every woman and girl in Uganda, it is just that, an ideal dream. We should not underestimate the changes that we can make in our daily lives to reduce menstrual stigma. And as I've said, this can include more open and transparent discussions about menstruation. And these discussions should not only be occurring in private and closed-off spaces, they should be occurring in public spaces as well. And men and boys need to be included in these discussions about menstruation because they are key players in helping to reduce menstrual stigma. We can support organizations that are already doing the work and actively fighting against menstrual stigma and period poverty, whether that be through donations or volunteering your time. And we can support women and girls in our lives by asking them, what do they need during menstruation? If someone needs help lifting a jerry can or mopping, are you going to be that person who helps them? If your friend has questions about menstruation or wants to discuss it with you, are you going to be that person who listens? So my goal with this speech this morning was to hopefully open up a wider discussion about how we can support every woman and girl in Uganda to achieve optimal menstrual health. I hope that you can take something away from this, and I invite you to think about how you can work to overcome menstrual stigmas that you may see, hear, or witness within your everyday life. So I want to thank the organizers again for providing me with the opportunity to speak, and thank you all for listening to me this morning. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Madison, who is from Pure Talk, Uganda. We are going to have our guild president, speak to us, and she'll be connected online. She's not around.
My name is Arinda Daisy Kankiriho. I work from Auditorium now. Okay. So that I want to first apologize. The past week I've not been around. I've been in Kampala from Monday and day. I have some workshops I'm attending in Atukwasa. I thought they would end by yesterday, but we cannot today and didn't had a meeting finish. So I apologize. Nonetheless, I want to thank the Almighty God that has blessed us with such a beautiful day as the Women's Day, where we celebrate all kinds of women in your unique place, in your own capacity, and in everything that represents you. You're different, and in your difference, you're exceptional. To begin with, I want to appreciate the Green Office for working in partnership with us. I would also like to appreciate our Minister of Gender, Honorable Maureen Kahima. May God bless you so much for being an exemplary lady in our society. Over time, you have organized enough events that have been successful, and not only does she focus on girl child, but also she focuses on the boy child, which is a very unique aspect in our regime. The last regime, we had a day, and so did we have an outfit for Kadak girls, which I participated, by then I was around. But one thing that has stood out in this regime is the fact that she also put up a Shemega, so I'm really, really grateful for her, and I pray that the incoming leaders will take an example from her. To be a woman has a different meaning to everyone. Allow me to apologize and appreciate our dearest AR for coming on board. We don't take it for granted. I've been following online. I've been seeing you. So we bless you that you keep on inspiring us, the young ladies. And I believe she'll also talk about her leadership as far as she has grown. She has been in leadership positions. She's also been a vice group president somewhere. And I believe she will echo out on her position. She's one person that has inspired many of us into leadership and has mentored us. So I pray that you all listen to her. She has quite interesting stories that will enable you to learn. Today we look at how women participate in policy and legislation. I believe our government needs to enforce more stronger policies that promote our gender equality, such as equal pay laws, anti-discrimination policies, and many more. So these will also ensure our participation, but also they will ensure that our voice is heard. In education and awareness, I believe when you say accelerate action, we look at education and awareness as one of the key factors that actually pushes the girl child in different places. Because through education, I believe in the past years, education was a bit hard on our end because most of us were looked at as people who just had to go for marriage, like how the deputy dean was saying that those days in Makere, the moment they find you pregnant, you would stop school. But these days, they're more accommodative. So there was so much limitation to the girl child without factoring in that we go through so much more than the other gender. Nonetheless, as we look on celebrating this day, we should also look at leadership. How was your leadership? Everyone is a leader where they come from. It doesn't necessitate that me being a guild president, I'm the leader, or Marinita being a minister, she's a leader. Everyone is a leader in their own capacity. By the time you stand somewhere and speak and people listen and you influence a certain group of people, that is leadership. So always allow it to blossom. And also young ladies, one thing I'll always communicate is let us support one another, because in most cases you find that it's us, our fellow ladies, who actually downplay our fellow ladies. They're the ones who speak ill. They're the same people who try to make the ladies look like they're actually not worth it. And you see people losing self-esteem because their fellow lady has actually put them down. Let us not be the people that cause, is it the downfall of our fellow women? Instead, let us work hand in hand with our fellow women and promote each other. I am one person who will always root for the girl child. I'm one person, if anyone inboxes me and it's a lady, I always make sure that I give them my time, because I know a lady's confidence, a lady's esteem is built from the things that they hear. One thing that affects us as ladies is that the words that people give us are what build us. At a certain point, we act like we don't care, but in majority of the times I've seen and I've been counseling ladies, you find that what other people speak about them is what it's what defines them. And I always say that your truth, your identity is unique, and you can't allow anyone else define you through their words. Nonetheless, as much as we try to pull up the girl child today, by talking about period talks, which I am so impressed by the gender minister taking up the Pad Up Girl campaign again. And I would like to also recognize the previous gender minister, Martha, who's following online. So basically, these talks help us enable that all the changes that we go through as ladies are actually normal, and we need to embrace them. We come together today to talk as ladies and to help one another, not to break down one another. So ladies, let us break barriers, let us support one another, and above all, put all that you plan and that you think of and that you dream of in the Lord's hands. Pray as much as often. Let us have safe spaces as ladies to talk to one another. Let us not be the ones that end up corrupting the safe spaces that are given to us. Let us have more talks, not only on this day but on other days. And all I can say is a happy Women's Day, and I am so grateful that I am a woman and that each of you is a woman. I'm so grateful to the men, that the gents that I've seen in the audience. May God bless you for being around as much as it's our day. We also thank you for supporting us. The men that support us, may God bless you. And I would like to thank each and every person that has attended. May God bless you, and may He richly reward you, and may you take home something important today from any person that speaks today. May God bless you. Succeed we must. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Her Excellency Daisy, our Guild President. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for being the great leader that you are. And what I've learned from her, or what she has said, is let us support one another. Let's not put one another down. Let us pray as much as we can. So as we wait for the breakfast team to let us know if they are ready, I'm going to ask us, like anyone who can tell us their expectations from this event. Like, what do you expect to learn from these great women?
Good morning to all of us. My name is Opita Wasima Bahinjire, a student from BS1 Town Campus, and I'm glad to be here to respect the women in the house. Thank you really for turning up, and we thank the Lord who has brought us this far. I thank the organizing committee for organizing such a function. And back to the question was asking for what were you expecting to be in this function, not so? Me, as I came from my campus, I all expected to learn a lot, and indeed, I've learned a lot from my seniors who have talked. I'm really thankful and grateful. Thank you very much. I've learned to respect the ladies in their menstruation period. Indeed, like back then, gone are the days, we used to just laugh at them. You see a girl in class with maybe without a pad and the blood is on the skirt. You just laugh and you give her space. Hey, now, you see this one. But I've learned that it is normal and that is how your body should be. It means you're healthy. With all that, I'm really thankful. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? A lady? Ah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Apofia Nahabwe, and I'm a pharmacy student. So I'm from the town campus. When I saw the posters the first time, I was so impressed, and I was like, I cannot fail to come here. And indeed, obviously, my first expectation was to first reach at the venue, and indeed, I found everything in place. Yes. And my other expectation, I expect to be inspired more, as I can't wait for our dear academic registrar to give a speech, and I believe I will be even more inspired. Thank you so much.
A good morning to everyone. My name is Faith Ahewa, FCI student. I thank God that I'm here. As expected, I expect, and I'm still expecting, because we still have more speakers, and I expected to really listen from the great ladies that's going to talk to us, and I'm looking forward and to listening to everyone and putting into what they have to tell us in practice. And I thank Marianita for advising us as ladies, not to only rely on our parents for aid. We can stand out the crowd and do something for ourselves. And I thank you for that. And I thank you for encouraging us. As much as we are going through our period time, we always have mood swings and all that. But I thank you for encouraging us not to feel shy and all that. And I'm really blessed to be here. And thank you, ladies, for showing up to celebrate us for the ladies we are and for the women we are to become. Thank you.
One last person.
A good morning to everyone in the house. This is Aturinzire Grace Francis from Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies doing agriculture. My expectations to this workshop It's like all speakers that have spoken, ranging from our Deputy Dean of Students, Minister of Gender, Madam Lindeman from Period Talk, they are all encouraging us to come together, to work together, so as to live in this nation or in this campus with a good heart. Therefore, I encourage ladies who are here to join your hands and clap your hands for us who are gentlemen in the house, because we have made your day colorful and enjoyable. I wish you the best. Thank you very much.
Breakfast is not yet ready, so I'll take a few more people.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a great honor that we are blessed with such a day, the International Women's Day, and it is here at Must. I'm by names of Areva Alvin, representing from the faculty, FIS, doing a BPCD. And my expectation is one. You see, it takes ground for us, like he has said, to be the few among you ladies. It takes a lot of courage. But my expectation was more of learning, because where you meet girls in their caucuses, not the NRM one, the caucuses, talking about ladies stuff. One man told me that whenever women are talking, us men feel like we don't want to hear that stuff and we feel small. But as our speakers were speaking about the menstrual hygiene, I felt good because at a point you have to learn these things and know where is my part as a man, or as your boyfriend, or as your man. Where is my part? Where is my part? So that was one of my big lessons of the morning. And another one was, with women empowerment, let's take it as not like a race for only women. Bring the boys on board. Don't leave them behind just because you have now this big platform. Like she said, let's all move at the same pace. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. My name is Isabide Samuel Gwambaka. I'm doing medicine year 3. So my expectations were not many. When I saw the poster for the first time, I wanted to celebrate this Women's Day because I really, actually, according to my profession, I'm a person who has interacted with women. I find myself in the hospital there asking women about menstruation, and most of them actually feel shy. They can't discuss anything. And you know, for us, we study the scientific bit of it, but we don't know really psychologically, socially, its impact. So now, as in my quest to engage with women, because later on we are going to be fathers and husbands, and in one way or the other, you will find yourself wanting to empower one woman or two. So now, if you don't know how they want to be empowered, there is no way you can effect it. So I wanted to really know how and where you people are focusing on empowering fellow women. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me. My name is Peter, PNC, Competition, Main Campus. I am happy to be here today. My aim basically was to hear more about menstruation because in my communities, you find that most time there are girls leave school because of menstrual hygiene. And usually I'm interested so much because my wife, she's a teacher and she normally makes pads for the girls in the school where she teaches. So my coming here was really to know how students are able to help maybe their fellow females in the communities where they come from. And besides that, I was able to learn, especially from a friend that has been making a presentation on her own personal story, on how she was able to embrace and be able to teach and even to learn from others. So I'm really very interested to learn today and to see that a woman, together with a man, becomes ally in helping ladies in these challenges that they undergo through during menstruation. So my expectation today in this class is to go back and see how we would be able to work together with other men to help these ladies in the rural communities on how they could be able to stand up and to be able to achieve their academics in education. And because after that, there will be women that are empowered in communities to raise other women and to achieve their potential in life. I thank you.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in the house. My name is Sarah Nyamitra. I'm doing BBA at Town Campus. I'm in my year one, and I'm really so happy and privileged to have a chance to talk about my expectation of this day. As a matter of fact, allow me mention this. I'm really proud of the great lady Marianita is turning into, and I really do appreciate every step, every thing that she does. She really is one that I'm looking up to, and I'm an aspiring GRC secretary for 2025 BBA class and the entire program, and I'm really so grateful for Marianita, and I'm looking up to being like her and being where she is at some point in time. So my expectation today is that, well, last night, before I slept, I was like, tomorrow I must make sure that I be there to celebrate the International Women's Day that has been organized by the Students Guild at Must. But the expectation was really one, to be equipped with the rightful thoughts and ideas and move out of this place a changed lady, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My name is Tumwesje Fiona, and I'm actually a postgraduate student doing microbiology and parasitology at Town Campus. So I specifically came here because I'm a product of a single girls' school, and we used to celebrate this day very much. But I was missing that. So when I saw the post, I was like, I must join the group. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be in Kihumuro, and thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nagasha Secret, BNS1, that's Nursing Year 1, from Town Campus. I'm very happy to speak to all of you and to be here. The very first time I heard about the celebrations, we have a group, Mentaha, by our honorable, so I was very happy because personally, I love empowering girl child, and it feels so nice. Then, for the gents, there is one time for some workshop, some organization, Girls to Lead Africa. So they told us, yes, we are trying to bring about gender equality, empowering a lady, but men, I mean, after the end of the day, the men will always be there, and they also have to join us as we empower ourselves. So I thank the gentlemen who are here. Then, my expectation today, I really wanted to learn, get to interact with more people, get to see how people, like how everyone views empowering, because my view is different from someone else's view. Then also about the period talk. Yes, most people get stigmatized about the menstruation periods, and yeah, people need to get the courage, the confidence, and it's normal. So I really wanted to know more about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kasemeza Catherine, a student of agriculture, year 1. I really want to thank everyone for your speeches. They've really impacted me, and I don't think I'll go back the same as I came. I thank Maria Anita for your speech, and I've really stood here to show you that I've learned. Among what you said, there was learning how to speak up. And that, I want to show you that I've learned it. Yeah. Also, about period talk, I don't know why one should be ashamed of periods, because that's one sign to show that you are a normal person. And I don't think it is making sense for one to get ashamed of periods. And thank you everyone for your speeches. Thank you. Thank you everyone for attending. Yeah, I know we are going to impact the communities out there. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Giwa Kauthar Zara. I'm a student of Master. I do medicine and surgery. So at first, when I first saw this International Women's Day, I was of the opinion that, okay, international, like, so during this program, I got to understand that it is about understanding ourselves, not only international, within ourselves. So as women, I encourage us all to go to school, empower ourselves, because I realize, okay, most people are in a kind of toxic relationship and marriages just because they are under their husband and they don't really have things to feed for themselves. So I encourage us all to work and empower ourselves, not to be controlled by men just because we are women. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Mutama Claire. I am a teacher in making. That is Faculty of Science. I'm in year 1 doing chemistry math. An aspiring GRSC BS. First of all, I want to thank God for making this day a success, because in the first place, I missed the bus and I was like, oh my God. How am I going to make it there? But I want to thank God that I was here, because actually yesterday I slept thinking about it. I have to be there and get the motivation from the great ladies that I am seeing in front of me. First of all, I want to thank Honorable Marianita for organizing this. I also want to thank our Deputy Dean, the AR, and the representative from the period talk. One thing I have learned today in Honorable Marianita's speech, she told us that the Deputy Dean of Students is where we can address maybe some problems that we are having as ladies. And by the way, I was not aware of that. So that's one thing I have taken into my mind. And then secondly, I also expected, personally, I expected to make new friends. So guys, I would like to be your friends. Thank you for coming. Thirdly, I want to thank the period talk, because right here as ladies, for us we may be knowing about these things of menstruation, but then we have girls out there who even don't know how a pad looks like. So as we are here, we are acting as a representative of whichever area that you are coming from. Let us take up this responsibility of educating the girl child, these upcoming, the young girls, about how they can go about menstruation period. I also want to lastly appreciate the team that went up to the schools yesterday to supply pads to the young girls and also educate them. That is something very good, and may God bless you for that. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Our Honorable has said, at least you stand and say your name. That's what I'm doing. I'm Kaswit Florence, doing DLT Year 1, aspiring GRC Secretary, DLT stroke HEC. That's what I've picked. Even if you're among 10 men, stand up and say your name. Other things will follow. Another thing, when I heard about this, I took it into practical. About periods, I wanted to ask someone, so I called my grandmother. I was like, could you handle your periods those days? She told me during those days, they could, after getting those periods, they exclude you from the community. You go somewhere, you sit on the banana leaves until those 4 days, 6 are done. Imagine that situation. I felt the pain. I said, let me attend this function to see how women are empowered these days. Thank you. And I wanted to get the right information, how we can be empowered and we'll be successful from the right people, and these are the people sitting in front of us. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much once again. My name is Premise Amtaire. And maybe the other bit part of it, I'm also an aspiring GRC for computer science. I'm glad that when I shared the links, my classmates stand up. I'm seeing most of them are here. To me, expectations for International Women's Day, some of them have been fulfilled because our Women's Day began yesterday, by the way. We had gone for Pad Up campaign and we saw the young girls asking questions. Some questions were just so innocent. Someone just asks you, can you, okay, let me not go into the details, but they were just so innocent, but I'm glad we left them with at least a hint on what they are doing. And also, another thing I want to learn from today before the day ends, from the panelists, how can we overcome being prey of, I don't know how to term it, but due to financial constraints, at some point we the girls have been prey of, should I say sexual harassment, maybe mistreatment. You find maybe you can't support yourself financially and you're being prey, and this has been happening. For example, you find university students, something is happening around, but you're not speaking up. Maybe fear of people criticizing. I'm sure there is something that is happening and some of us are not speaking up. So I always want us to be sensitized on the channels we can follow to report when these cases arise, because I'm very sure they are happening. I'm very sure of that one incident. So I request us to get those reporting channels. And two, how can we become free from and being independent from falling prey in case such things come due to financial constraints, we as ladies. That's all for today. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I take this opportunity to welcome you all in this building, and I think it's by the Almighty. Is it okay? My name is Nakati Agatha from FCI Year 1, and my expectations so far some have been fulfilled because from Marianta's speech has talked of learn how to speak up. And I think I've managed to do so. So, Marianta, in your absence, thank you. And for the menstrual period, I'm a girl child and I'm a woman, but I've been feeling ashamed. Like when I'm in my periods and going to buy pads, I have to hide so no one can see it. But so far, I've learned that it's normal, so no more need of hiding again. And another thing, I expect to leave this place when I'm a changed person and a strong woman in the future. Thank you so much.
A very good morning to you all. My name is Monique Nahawe, FCI student, year 2. So one of my expectations today, as one of the lady has said, us from the single-sex school, we used to have such talks, and from there you would get uplifted, recharged, and re-energized. So one of my expectations is to get uplifted one more time. I was really missing this, so I'm very thankful to Honorable Marianita for organizing such a thing, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. How do you know that you're going to become a great lady? It is when you start appearing in great rooms. I want to first take the honor to thank God for being in this place. Number one, I am not a student. I'm done with school. I'm actually here because of Maria Anita. I want to thank you, and I must say that the people she is leading, you people have, I don't know, you are so privileged. She is a great woman. She is a great girl. And I met her in one of the engagements that we normally have. I am a businesswoman. I am a CEO of a company called Nalongo Events. We do events planning and management. Thank you for that. Not only that, I own 2 businesses. We have a juice hub. If you have not tasted our juice, I don't know what you are doing. But then another thing, I've just registered another business. It is called Lavish Spaces. We change spaces. For the women here, you want a lovely home, trust me, you look no more. We have the best interiors. Then another thing, I'm also working on a project. It is called Visionary Leadership Initiative. It is the reason as why I was inspired to be in this space is because I want young leaders, people that really want to be leaders. You want to stand in front of people and everyone is going to give you their attention. That is why I am here, and I am so honored to be in front of the academic registrar. I am so privileged, madam. I am so honored. And the Dean of Students, to me this, I really want to have a word with you if you do not mind after here, because I am a girl's girl. I love empowering girls. I am the only child at home. I'm the only girl. And to me, I have faced a lot being the only girl, and I am the firstborn in my family. But I really want to inspire girls, women out here, girls out here. You can do it. Whatever is inside you, you will go to places. And lastly, I don't want to take a lot of time. I want to thank Madison. Yes. Personally, when the first time I got into my periods, I usually had these bad cramps. I actually hated periods at a certain point, because every time I would be in my periods, everyone would know about it. Be it at school, be it the teachers, everyone. I suffered for a very long time, and it brought to me to hate myself personally. And every time I would approach that time, then the fear in me would click in, and I hate being a girl. But at a certain point, when you bring about this period talk Uganda, I feel, no, it is not bad. It comes to an end at a certain point, and I really felt so honored and to have this. Then lastly, Anita is not here, but I really want to thank her. She talked about something, about innovation, about young girls. Please, everyone has a dream inside there. And I want to tell you, the thing that is going to take you far is what is inside you. Probably, yeah, we go to school, we learn. Personally, I did social sciences, but I found myself in the business world. So it starts with you, and much as I ventured into the business world, I also found myself that I got a calling from God to go for leadership. I'm also aspiring for the female youth councillor, Mbara City. So please, I need your support. Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. I wish I can interact with more people here. Thank you so much. May God bless you all. Oh, I am so sorry, and the reason as to why I did that, you see, I've been doing public speech, like I've been practicing. So they said for you to get attention, you need to start with a quote. So I forgot my name. I am so sorry. I'm just getting used to these things. So, but Agatha Twine is my name, and yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Unlike Agatha, I'll start with my name. I'm called Jonathan Daisenga. I am a MUST alumni. Yeah, I graduated last year. I was in the faculty of FCI. Do you have them here? Oh, you're here too. I was doing Bachelor's of Software Engineering. I'm a co-founder of Period Talk Uganda. Period Talk Uganda is a youth-led initiative that started in 2022. And it's now getting off its grassroots right now. We got to meet Madison, who's a PhD student from University of Bristol. Thank you very much for your contributions towards Period Talk and your time. And everyone is welcome to come and support Period Talk so that we can empower women and young girls. We kill the stigma that is surrounding menstruation and periods by including the boy child in these in these conversations, because they're among the leading. According to the stats, the boys also contribute to the stigma that is surrounding menstruation, how we handle ourselves around them, excluding them from the conversations. Yesterday we were at an outreach and the boys were pulled out of class so that we only address the girls, and that is where the menstruation stigma starts from. So it becomes something that we are not aware of, but then we grow up to be boyfriends and husbands and fathers to daughters, and we have to meet menstruation anyway in our life. And as a normal lady growing up, you have to go through this. If you're not going through this, then that means something wrong with you. Okay? So that is it. You can search Period Talk Uganda on your phones. If you want to volunteer with us, you can reach out to us through our website, and our details are all there. and the work we do. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bongomin Ronald, doing software engineering, year one. I want to thank the organizing committee of this session. I only have one point, whereby I expect to learn. Yes, we are talking about women empowerment or emancipation. Yes, true, it should be done, but I really wanted to know, because with women emancipation, it comes with a lot of privileges. Yeah, there's respect, there's money, and what have you. But I want really to know, like, if women are empowered, eh, should, should they be the heads of families? Like, like, because, no, I'm speaking this because I've ever seen that. Because some women, yes, after them being empowered, they really think that they don't need a husband. Hence, some of them are victims of LGBT. You understand? So that's what I really want to understand about that. If they should really be the heads of the family, because it can happen that a woman can be earning more salary than the husband. Then I really want to know if that one makes her to be the head of the family. Thank you.
I'll take only 2 ladies and then we shall go for breakfast.
Hi guys, good morning. My name is Aikari Winnie, a second year student offering a Bachelor's of Biomedical Engineering, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm also thankful for this opportunity. Well, when I was in hall, I was jokingly telling people I'm going to empower you. I'm going to empower you. Sorry, I have stage fright. I'm going to empower you. I didn't know that I was going to talk, but I was joking. But somehow, I'm talking. So about the period talk, everyone has been talking about that period talk. And I noticed most people have never heard of the Flow app. So there is this app called the Flow app. It helps you track your periods. Me who has very painful cramps, it's very helpful to me because there are days you're going to be like, you might be having plans in the future and most people don't know when they're going to get their periods. They're like, me, I just wait for mine and I see that they've come. So I encourage you guys to download the Flow app. It's very helpful, helps you track your periods. You know when you're going to start and when you're going to end. Like it won't give you the exact track, but it will help predict. And the other thing, yes, I applied for some cohort. It's called the Girl for Girl cohort. And yesterday I received a message that I joined the cohort. And it's a 6-month mentorship program. And I hope by the end of my 6 months, I'll be able to come back and tell you what I've learned probably the next Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank our guests, our ladies from Town Campus. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attending this session. My name is Justin Kemigisha. I'm in Faculty of Science and it's called Faculty of Applied Science and Technology. I'm doing electrical year one. When I came here, I wanted to have the opportunity to hear the voice of a woman, and indeed I've heard it. Because we have very great women sitting in front of us, and it's a very good opportunity. I've got to get some advice which I really needed, and I've got this strength that you can stand up and speak. Yeah, I've been here wanting to say something and at least say good morning to all of you, but I didn't have that opportunity because I was scared. But right now I feel empowered, and you have done a very good role, Madam Marietta. And I want to thank our AR for coming here. Thank you for saving your time. I want to thank Madam Axona. Thank you for coming. And the Deputy Dean of Students. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Time is really going, so I hope you all have coupons, and you should keep your coupon because you use it for also lunch. So now we shall have our breakfast from first floor, right? Yeah, just use the back door.
Fine. Welcome back from the morning session. A very interactive session. I really enjoyed myself. I would like to honor the people that I have been sitting with here at the table. The Honorable Member of Parliament. I'm not going to mention the name because but I want to thank you so much for coming to Mbarara University of Science and Technology and for being part of such celebrations. I've actually seen you in many of these celebrations, so thank you very much. When we see you, we are encouraged. You're one of the people that we look up to. I don't know who the neighbor is, since Marianita, you should have first introduced. But you are... You're very welcome, Rachel. I'd also like to recognize Madison. Thank you very much for period talk. You saw the conversations that came around the period talk. Thank you very much. I have also really, really benefited, learned a lot from that short 10, 15-minute presentation that you made. And for my colleague, Maureen Kahima Tuonjire, thank you very much for working with the students to organize such occasions, such functions. Marianita, thank you so much. She's a very organized. Please give her a hand of applause. Very, very organized. She sent me an invitation a month before, and she kept on reminding, and she could not relent. I had to confirm. So I really want to thank you very much. Marianita, how much time do I have? 15. If I have 15, then I'll have to skip some points. Okay, that is good. I hope, who can be my timekeeper so that I don't, because sometimes I get excited when I'm talking. Period, so you'll be my timekeeper, okay? So I saw this, headline in the newspapers over the weekend. How many of us saw it? Can you see it? It was quite interesting. It says, education for marriage or career. Are the parents losing out? The girls are being educated. The parents are selling land, their cows and whatever, and the girls are getting married. And that was the conversation. So that is why I bought the paper. I really wanted to know what are people saying about it. And it's quite interesting. I would like to know, what do you think about it? Education for marriage or career? Education for marriage or for career?
Career.
For career?
For both.
Okay, to get married immediately after your degree or graduation, or you wait like 3, 4, 5 years? How many say wait? How many say immediately? One. I'm with you, Amma. Yes, for me, I got married immediately out of school. I was 24, young, graduated, got married. But I had my kamani. I had hustled and I had my job. We'll talk about that later. This is not my topic, but I thought it's very good. So that means you people will, when you read it, you will agree with most of the people. The conversation around is, if you get married early, you won't enjoy something. You mean in marriage, people don't enjoy. So that's the thing. And then you not look after your parents. When we get married, don't we look after our parents? So anyhow, that is a very good debate. So I would like to just, the theme of the day is accelerate action. My name is Martha Kyoshaba Twinamasko, and I have Empako Abwoli. I'm very glad to be here, and I gladly and humbly serve as academic registrar, and therefore I interact with all of you when you're coming and also when you are leaving. And it is such an honor to be part of you. And when I was looking at the theme, accelerate action, the words that kept coming as I was doing research were take urgent, bold, and concrete steps to advance gender equality, break barriers, create lasting change for women and girls worldwide. But as Maureen was saying, I think we also need to include the boys in this talk. So every time there's a talk for women, it is time for us in Uganda to include the boy child, because we now have many man child, because they do not have a lot of these spaces. And we now have quite a number of young men whose esteem is going down because they are not as encouraged as the girls are. When a girl is getting married, there will be all these people around her. There are these bridal showers, people are talking to her. But when the boy who is going to make the home with this girl, no one is talking to them. And so they meet, the girl is empowered, the boy is not empowered. So I believe that and I really want to applaud the men who are here. Thank you very much for picking courage and coming. So, Madam Maureen, next year we have a Women's Day, let it be women and men. So we have half the men and half, because in MUST we have more gentlemen than ladies. We have because we have over 6,000 students, and about 2-5 are girls, and then the other ones are men. So we want to see the men around in this. So that is how we shall break barriers. When the men know, like I like the other teacher in the making, he said, now I know what a period is. I'll stop laughing at the girls. I'll stop laughing at the women. So when we walk this talk together, then we shall make change. The barriers will be broken, because then we shall know. The men will know how to support the women. All right, so when I was thinking again about what can we do, what action can I and you take to break barriers, to advance in education, employment, and leadership, what is it that you want to do to take action? And I'm going to tell you 5 points, and then hopefully I can keep quiet. One of the things is value education. Education is an investment. When we are here, of course I have to talk about education as an academic registrar. When you come to study, what are you looking for? Is it just to get the degree? After the degree, so what? What skills are you adding on? When you come to get this degree, I would like to encourage that you look for a skill that you'll walk out with. And I want to tell you a story. One of the lecturers, he's a head of department in this very faculty. He was conversing with me and telling me about his students in one of the engineering programs. And he said on top of the program, the curriculum that they are studying, he would take his students through soft skills. For example, graphic design, answering interviews. So they just had that after class, and he was doing it to empower his students. And there is one student that picked interest. And every time they had these sessions, the boy was always going, he was a young boy, always going to this lecturer. Then when this young man graduated, he found an advert in the papers. He responded to that advert. They wanted the degree that he had. About 7 people went for the interview. They all had that degree. But what stood out, when they went for the interview, they gave them a practical exam. And they told them to design something. And what helped this young man to get the job is because of what the lecturer had taught him, the soft skills in designing. And he designed something that was very impressive. And he got this job in a very big company. And he came to the lecturer and he profusely thanked him. He said, "Thank you for those after-class skills, soft skills that you taught us. It's not the degree that got me the job. It is those skills that you taught us." And then he told him the salary he was getting. He was getting much more than his lecturer. So he came and thanked the lecturer with an envelope. He said, "No, no, no, this is something that I do out of." He said, "No, I just want to say thank you. If you had not had time for us, but also if he had not picked that time." So as you are studying, and I want to applaud you who have come here, because there are many skills that you are learning from here. You won't just get out with a degree and then you see these photo shoots. You will have learned something. Marianita told us about speaking up. And many of the young women here have said, "I have learned to speak up. At least just say my name." That is a skill. When you go for an interview, you will speak up. And it looks like Marianita, did you look at my notes? Because of half of what you said was already in my notes. I also have something about speaking up. So invest in education, but look for that thing that you will take out of it. Add more skills to the degree that you're going to get. The other thing is be part of a community. And that's why I thought Marianita had looked at my notes. Because she being part of a community. We need to be in a community. We are meant to be people in communities, not islands. Because in these communities, we network. And as young people, you know, when I was reading the papers and seeing the rates of suicide going up in schools, I'm thinking, why are young people taking their lives? Do they not have people to talk to? Of course, that shows that they don't have people to talk to. Just this year alone, 2 young boys committed suicide. One, I think a parent had removed the phone. Actually, 2 of them, it was something to do with phones. These phones are breaking up communities. Get into a community. What community are you in? And not just a virtual community. You know, these online WhatsApp groups. Those ones are good, but not good. I want these communities where you sit with friends and share notes and cry and talk about the other lecturer, how he wasn't very good, or the other madam, or, you know, stress, release the stress in that community. But the other thing about these communities, you empower one another. The lady who was here, the CEO, I really applaud you. I don't have a business, so you are a CEO. You think you should learn from us, we should learn from you. When you get into these communities, a community where she is, she would teach you how to start the small businesses, how to go forward. Not these communities of gossiping, you know, but communities of empowering and lifting one another. One of the quotations, I think it's from South Africa, somebody said, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go further, go together. So get into a community. I live in a certain place, and I started living there about 4 years ago, but I was feeling very lonely. And then I started looking for women around. And once I got the women, I feel so good. We meet twice. We meet twice a month. We just, evening, we get there and sit. And I listen to their stories of how they are managing. And then they also listen to how I am managing, and that is quite helpful. And that is something that has helped us women, by the way, to break barriers. So I would like to encourage the young ones here. If you're not yet part of a community that lifts one another, get into one, or start one. Get 3, 4, 5 people whom you will share with. And the other thing is, also Marianita talked about it, have a side hustle. She said when your parents give you fees and then maybe they don't give you all the pocket money and you're saying you've put on this shoe for, I don't know, a whole semester, you want another shoe for, how much are the shoes that people buy? 20K, and then you can't call your guardian, your parent for that 20K. You have that hustle. When I was in university in 97, 2000. You were not yet born. But I had side hustles. I used to do these things with my hands. In Buganda, because I studied in Buganda, they're called emiyondo. You know these reverends and fathers, what they wear, what they tie them around? So I used to make those things. I learned them from my mother, and I thought, let me just start making it. I made it. I sold it to one reverend. He told another, and then I started making money. Then I also started making, there were art pieces that I would sew. And then I started making earrings. Do you know that it's very easy to make these earrings and the necklaces? Have that side hustle. Many of you young people are very good with computer, with IT. Design these things and then tell people about them. So have that side hustle. And when I was reading this magazine about education or career or marriage, one of the things people are talking about is how the women get there and then they are sad. I'll tell you, one of the ways not to be sad in marriage is to have money as a woman. Please. Yeah. So if you're to go into marriage immediately, like me, immediately after school, I got married, but I had my money. And I've told my daughters, make money. Because even when you're in marriage, of course, you know Africa, we have the in-laws, the bigger, they will not respect you if you don't have your money. But when you have your money, as they're welcoming the man home, even if they will give you a seat and they will mention your name because they know you are contributing. But also, I am a Christian, so I read the Bible, Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman, she wakes up early, she buys a piece of land, she puts food on the table, she makes clothes of purple, she dresses her children, she dresses her maids. How are you going to do that if you don't have that money? Marianita, we need to have talks on how to create that money. How do we create that? I have done lots of businesses, side hustles, because I have a full-time job. So many of them have failed. But for me, it has been school fees. I even went into truck driving. That one, the man stole my money. I went into agriculture. I drove my, my value-added, I was doing value-added crops. I had okra. And okra was selling for export. So I used to go Saturday to the garden, did this okra in 1 acre. I would go harvest it, take it to Nakasero. And I am here. Graduate, Nakasero, you have your job. And they're looking at this woman and I say, and the men start teasing you, so you learn their language. You hustle. I hustled, but I was tired of their teasing. Because a kilo of okra would be 2.5, and they look at me and then they say, we shall give you 500. And you have to sell it because if you take it back, you're going to make losses. So I went out of that business. And then I did the business nowadays I don't, but I engaged my children. When they're on holidays, we went to in Kampala, there are places where they sell this jewelry. Very nice in those arcades. Very, very nice jewelry. How many minutes? Okay. Give me just 5 more minutes. Very nice jewelry. And I taught my daughters how to make this jewelry. And I told them, come, we shall go to office. But I wasn't here at Master. I was working in another place. Let's go to the offices. I will get my friends. For me, I can sell things when I decide to sell. And then you will sell the jewelry. My daughters were very fearful, like many young women. But when they would go and say, I'm selling this jewelry for fees, for what? There's a time they got 500,000 from jewelry. Just jewelry. So have a side hustle. Somebody talked about a juice business. Who is doing the juice business? Hoshizan, who is doing the juice? And there are so many, and you know, I just marvel at women's business acumen. So have that side hustle. So what action are you going to take? Think of a side hustle. Girls, don't get into marriage and you want that Kameza money. No. Leave that. really, me, I'm decampaigning Kameza money. You be the one to put that Kameza money. Have the side hustle. Learn to speak up. She talked about it. I will not say a lot about it, but learn to speak up. I read a book by a woman, Frankel. There's a lady up there who said she has joined the Girl for Girls. I think that group has studied this woman's books. Nice girls don't take the corner office. And she encourages women to speak up because she said women, we second guess ourselves. We feel like we don't have a voice. So, and then she says, if you have nothing to say, I've told friends, if you have nothing to say, for us in Africa, we pray a lot. At least say the opening prayer. Let them know that you are around. And Marenita said, at least say your name. Let them know, but always say something that is worthwhile. Eh? Think of, just pay attention, and then you get something, and then you say, and don't wait. When you're in a meeting or you're in a class or there's what, and then they say, any contributions, and you look at us and we are always side guessing. You be the first to put up your hand. Speak up, speak out. Then people will notice and say, but there's this other person, there's this other person. But also when you speak up and speak out, you speak for other young women and young boys. You be the voice of those who cannot speak out. Where there is discrimination, where people are being treated wrong. I am a registrar, and so we implement policies, some of which you might not be happy with. But I'm always happy about those students who come to office and say, AR, you have put this policy, but it's affecting us like this, like this, like this. Speak up and speak out, not in the wrong way. Don't go do way. No. Speak up in the right way. Join Toastmasters. Your deputy dean is in Toastmasters. That's where we learned how to speak. And in Toastmasters, they tell us, before you speak, to attract attention, start with a story or a quotation. That's why she said she had forgotten to say her story. So join Toastmasters. Ask her about Toastmasters so that you can learn to speak up. I had this point I just put there after. Sexual harassment. This is university. You are beautiful. Young women, you are beautiful. And people know it. So there is sexual harassment. What happens if, but in maths we don't have lecturers who sexually harass girls. We don't. Do we? Do we? Have you spoken up? Let me tell you, there is a girl who spoke up about a certain lecturer. And do you know the people who victimized her? Her fellow girls. And yet she was struggling. The lecturer was really harassing her. When she spoke, and she was brilliant, she recorded him. Have these recorders. If that lecturer is disturbing you, let me tell you, don't give in. Don't. Because he just wants to use your body. Why use your body? For marks. You people, university is easy to pass. Just do coursework, discuss. Don't sex for marks. Why? You are so important. You are beautiful. You are so valuable. Why give your body to this lecturer? How many more has he lain with? Why should you be harassed? You are important. Why should he not give you your marks? It is your right. Come to AR. Tell me I can't get this because this. But don't tell lies. Go to the deputy dean. There are many women, your lecturers. We have a woman called Mama Gender. Go to somebody and talk to them. Don't let anybody say, before I give you marks for this research, you have to sleep with me. It happens a lot. We know it happens. But if you don't speak up, if your friend is being harassed and she fears, you be the one to speak up for her. Oh my goodness, my time is up. My time is up. Learn to speak up. Give. Finally, I'll talk about this. Give. Focus on something. Thank you very much for Pada Pagal. Because you are going out to give people. Let me tell you, a hand that gives is a heart that smiles. Look for somebody to give. The other day I was driving. I drive from home, going to work, and I saw these little kids. Very early in the morning, 7. They are going to Samka school there in Kafunjo where I stay. They don't have shoes. In this day and age, we have many Ugandans. We don't have shoes. And I was driving in a car, and I thought, so I called the head teacher, and I told her, how many people in your school don't have shoes? And she counted them. There were 7. And I told her, I'll buy the shoes. You can give something, and it doesn't have to be big. And you don't have to make a show of it. I'm sorry I've told you this, but you can give. When I was in secondary school, I used to feel bad if my parents did not visit me. You know that kind of feeling? And so when I started visiting my daughters at school, I'd always take 2 quencher bottles, go and give that friend who has not been visited. And one time when I was leaving this school, I saw this girl washing at the tap and she was crying. So I asked what had happened. They hadn't visited her. When you're going to visit the young siblings, go with something extra. You have those students in class. The other day I was with a boy in my office and he told me how he'd lost a father and the father wasn't paying the fees. And then when the father died, he had to move from this side to town campus. And the mother said, I cannot afford. He said, Mommy, just look for fees. You leave the rest, I will hustle. And the boy said he hustled. Sometimes he would go without food, nothing, but he wanted to study. As I speak now, he graduated last year. He's volunteering in the university. But I can imagine the time he was going to class. You know, friends, you have people in your class who don't have lunch. We have people here who don't have lunch. What can you do? For you who are, some of you, not all of you, I can imagine here we also have those. Can you give to that kind of person? That is how we can break barriers, so that women, let us look for that woman. My story is long, so I won't go into it, but I had an experience in my life where I lost a husband. And so one of the things that I thought to myself, what can I do to get healed? And it was to reach out to women who had gone through the same. And I realized that women who were widowed and orphans have a really hard time in our country. And so I began to reach out to them. And that brought healing to me. Whatever you are going through, you can use that to reach out, to lift up people. That is how we can break barriers. So give. Give. There's a song that says, let me show you that I know how to sing, so that when there's a singing competition, you call me. Give, and it shall come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Give, and it shall come back to you. I'm not supposed to sing. Anyhow, finally, value education, get a skill. Now there is AI. I don't want to be left behind. Do you know who teaches me about AI? My daughter. She's in university. She teaches me. I tell her, I sit there, teach me, because I don't want to be left out. So value education, get a skill, be part of a community, be a hustler, have that side hustle. Be confident, learn to speak up, join Toastmasters, get into debates, give, and it shall come back to you. Above all, commit all to God, and he'll make your path successful. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, our AL, for those inspiring words. Can I have someone, a lady, to give a vote of thanks to her? Okay, come forward.
The protocol observed, I greet you all once again. For those who didn't hear my name, I'm Nagasha Secret, and I'm very happy for the encouraging words. I really appreciate our AR. I think this is like the third time I'm hearing her speak and encouraging. She's a very nice lady. And to the ladies, I pray and I encourage all of us to learn from her. And our AR, we really appreciate, and may God bless you. And let's not just stop here, like the words, if it's hustling, please do. I can testify personally, I grew up with a hustling mom. I know what it means. I sell bracelets, necklaces here at campus. It feels nice to earn your own money. It really does. So ladies, get that money. You know what it means when you can afford to do something for yourself. You know what it means when you can be able to help a friend in case they cannot manage. And let's also take words to our friends, because we are here to be ambassadors out there. So let's also take words to our friends. Thank you so much, AR. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Secret. You own yourself a t-shirt. Let them bring a t-shirt like this one. Thank you for your thoughtful words. Yeah, so at this juncture, I'm going to request the AR to invite in the next speaker. Thank you. You know, in Africa, we love protocol. So I would like to take this opportunity and much honor to invite our Honorable Member of Parliament, Rita Atukwasa. You can see her from far. She always has that thing on her head. But for me, I love that she's always available for people. I have been at functions, and Honorable Rita has always been there. You're welcome to Mbara University of Science and Technology.
Thank you. The teacher wants to teach you some politics. You can play for 1 second.
Rita mushagatire mugumize mumwine kukora n'amani oboni kwatura tujo usimuzi Atukwasa Rita Bwahika niwe turukwenda Marara sita nekwenda mu parliamenti
Academic Registrar, Doctor, I am very pleased to meet you today. The Dean and Dr. Madison, I'm also very happy to meet you. And the Honorable Minister, for whose, anyway, by her invitation, I am here today. The Honorable Minister of Gender, Kobumans, please give her a hand of applause. And of course, my friend Rachel, who I have come with. I think I've also come with he calls himself, they call him, he's a celeb. Celeb of Mbarara, Byekwaso. Today is the International Women's Day. And there is a writer who is a feminist, Emma, and gives a quote to say, what is the purpose of the revolution if we cannot dance? So I want to take a minute so that we can dance. DJ. DJ, are you there? I also have hidden talent. Yeah, you know, they say in psychology, emotional intelligence, Johari's window, that every time you discover something you're good at, that probably you didn't know. Hey, what's up? You know, in Ankole they say ngwabaragine tibetana. Eh? That when you know you're supposed to meet at 8 sharp.
Mugumize mumwine kukora na mani Oboni watulatu jo usimuzi Atukwasa Rita Bwahika niwe turukwenda Marara sita nekwenda mu paramenti
Finally, the watch I've been thinking about day and night has arrived.
Goldman. What's the point of a revolution if we can't dance? Don't break my heart.
All over the world, lift up your voice. Do you know who you are? Shout in love, declare it.
Soft engineers, where are you? Software engineers, what's happening? Oh my God. I am not happy. Aha, now we go. Get out of your chairs. Stand up. I need the dancing party like that. Come. Hey.
Come on, let's go. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Hey, all I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, for I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power, I work in miracles, I live a life of favor, for I know who I am. I'm working in power, I work in miracles, I live a life of favor, for I know who I am. Hey. Hey. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Yeah. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I'm walking see His glory, for I know who I am. Say I know who I am. Lift your voice, shout I know who I am. How many of you know who you are? Come on. Come on. Let the world know who you are. Come on. Come on. Everybody shout I know who I am. It's your voice, shout I know who I am. In your workplace, going out and coming in, declare, say I know.
Are you happy? Now we know the purpose of the revolution, don't we? Okay. Even if I stop here. I am really very happy and thrilled to be here, like right now. To be with you as students, as young people, and the future is now. I was telling the academic registrar that I had to be here, and I thank God I have made it. And after here, I hope I will make it to be at BSU, to also have some time with the students there. And I was from somewhere, so this is my third place. It's a good day to celebrate. And I'm very happy that our brothers are here also to celebrate with us. That's very important. And I do thank the university administration for taking student leadership very serious and for giving an opportunity to empower the students to do such things, but also to create a learning opportunity for themselves. And for those of you who have made a choice to be here, you are very smart and you shall never regret. Because you have much more of a population to fill about maybe 5 or 6 of these auditoriums. But here we are. And I was asked to talk about how can one find space or voices in public or society as a woman. You have the answers, don't you? You live in a community, at the university, you live in a community where you're born, or where you live, or where you stay. Don't you have some answers to that question? Should I read it again? How can one find space or voices in public or society as a woman? How can one find space? She spoke about voice. I think somebody who came before me. My voice is my power. And it is as voice. People must know what you're thinking. People must know what ideas you have. People must know what you are contributing. So the voice can come out in different ways. Let's not just stick to literally as a voice. Do you know my name, by the way? You do. I'm Atukwasa Rita Bwahika, the woman member of parliament for this city. You are MUP. And I think I became a member of parliament because I have a voice. And 90% of my work involves voice, speaking. But we can talk about the voice of speaking, the voice of writing, the voice of a picture. It can be the voice of a gesture. Because not all the time you can express yourself by voice. For instance, me bringing that song, I think I was telling you I am happy and I want you to know who you are. Wasn't it? As you are saying, I know who I am. Are you really answering that question? Because the first thing is you must know who you are. If you are going to find that voice. Because if you don't know who you are, then what will you be speaking about? You will certainly miss the point. So you must know who you are if you are to find space and voice. Self-awareness is very critical. And it does not stop. You are capable of so many things, some you have not even discovered yet. So self-awareness. You are intellectuals, read about it. One of the things you can read about is the Johari's window. It has 4 windows. What you know about yourself, what others know about you, what others know and you know, and there is the hidden quadrangle that keeps expanding. For me, I want to believe
let's give them an opportunity. So, love what you're doing, do it well. And two, I think Honorable here talked about it, we should know that we are not in perfect spaces. We are not in perfect spaces. Put your foot down. To do. And one thing I've learned for me, I believe in teamwork. I know that I cannot do everything alone. I know there is somebody to do this, there's somebody to do the other thing, and if I'm in that supervisory role, my role is to supervise. I don't have to go there and do their work. I will only make sure they do their work the way they are supposed to do it. So, and one other thing that has also helped me is learning. Every day is a learning experience, continuous learning. We don't stop in the lecture room, we learn every day. She told you I'm a member of Toastmasters Club, and I learn. I was very active in Rotary, and I learned a lot in Rotary that time. And now I'm in Toastmasters, I'm still learning. It's a journey to keep on learning, to believe in myself that if I'm put in this position, it means somebody believes in me, so I should also believe in myself and do what I'm supposed to do. Finally, with the men, because in our spaces we have men, and even in families we have men, I believe that our roles are complementary. We are not there to compete. We are there to work together and make sure we achieve our objectives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I was thinking about this question as you were speaking, and I guess one thing that kind of strikes me in the way the question's worded is it says like, what do young ladies require to become like me? And I guess in my opinion, I don't really think anybody should aspire to be just like me. I think there's a lot of things we can all learn from each other within these spaces. And I think the things this question maybe is getting at is maybe how do you achieve similar things maybe I've achieved, or maybe that I'm learning in my life. But I think this notion of wanting to be just like somebody else, for me personally, maybe isn't the best mindset to strive for, because you'll never be like somebody else. You know, everybody has their own individual characteristics that make them who they are, and again, that we can both learn from each other. Obviously, I'm not from here, and I've grown up in a very different education system than the one in Uganda. And I know for me, being 27 and doing a PhD is very young for how people in Uganda do it. But for me to get to that point, for example, it took me 3 years of having to reapply to 5 to 7 universities every year until I got my PhD fully funded. So yeah, it took me a lot of time basically, and a lot of perseverance, and a lot of reaching out to people, and people not replying, or people saying, no, I don't like your project idea, or people saying, it's okay, but what if you fixed it in this way? So I guess my message from this kind of rant I'm getting at is that it's important to just put yourself out there in a way and be okay with getting rejected, because I think that comes with a lot of the risk people don't want to take, is that they're afraid of what if someone tells me no. Okay, if no's the worst word you hear, that's a pretty okay response at the end of the day. And if you're learning from these rejections, it's really just going to help you grow stronger as a person and be able to say, okay, well, this one was a no. How can I then improve maybe my writing or what I submitted so the next time it's yes? So I guess that's my takeaway from this.
Thank you, Maranita. I will just give an example of what I've done to be where I am, and it rings with what they've said. For me, it's believing in myself, accepting that people around don't believe in me, but I do believe in myself and what I'm capable of. When I was applying for this job of academic registrar in 2015, I applied for it in 2013, so it was advertised. I saw the advert and I put it away. A friend called and said, have you seen this advert? You have the qualifications. They wanted a degree, I had a master's. And then I'm thinking, public university, I had been in private universities. And then I spoke to about 3 friends, and all of them laughed and said, if you don't have anybody there, you won't get it. And I remember a friend who literally laughed and said, "And you think you can make it into a public university? Who knows you?" But I looked at the qualifications that they wanted. I had everything. So I said, what will I lose by applying? So I put in my application. And then I was shortlisted the first time. I came for an interview. There were issues. Then they re-advertised the position. And they said, if you're still interested, reapply. Those friends said again, "Martha, you can't. No one knows you." And I did. I did not know anyone. I didn't have the connections we talk about. But you know what? I was confident because I had done the work before. So I knew that I would answer at the panel. And that is how I got the job. Then again, recently we were at State House and we were electing people, representatives in universities to National Council. And so I told people, I want to offer myself. And the women around me laughed, as in literally laughed, because we were with professors. I said, "But Martha, you can't." "No." I said, "Why not? I can talk." So I offered myself. We were about 7 people. I went and spoke out there. And my purpose was recognition. I knew I wasn't going to make it. But I just said, let people know Martha Kyoshaba from Mbarara University. And there were about 1,000 people there, and everybody came out knowing Martha Kyoshaba. And then these ladies who had laughed at me, I told them, "You just give me votes so that I'm not the last," because it was an election. So I garnered because we were about 7, I was number 6, I was second last. But then people got to know. So believe in yourself, because people won't believe in you. I'm telling you, as Rita said, even in the boards where we sit, people will know, what is she saying? What is she saying? So you've got to believe in yourself, because even your mom, your parents, the people around you will not believe in yourself. But if you believe in yourself, and please, when you apply, as she said, women, we want to make sure that we have all the if you have half the qualifications, apply. So that and many more. Thank you.
The next question goes to our Deputy Dean, Ms. Maureen Kahima. So what are the university policies that protect the girl child as they pursue their degree?
Thank you so much, Marianita. The university has a lot of policies. The university has invested a lot in putting up these policies, working through them, making sure that they look up to the needs of everybody. They are not for the girl child, they are for all of us. These policies, so if you are a boy child and you're being challenged, the policies will protect you. The policies will support you. But nevertheless, we have a number of policies for our well-being. And they all fall under what we call cross-cutting issues and safeguarding. These include the policy on special needs. If you have any special need, physical, mental, any form of disability, this policy is for you to help you navigate your journey at this university in a better way than if this policy was not there. We have a gender policy, and that's the reason we are here, because this is one of our mandates to commemorate such days, to celebrate such days. That's the reason, but it's more than that. Then we have the sexual harassment policy. Sexual harassment is a big thing in institutions, and including MUST. We hear of complaints, but people don't want to speak up because they fear being victimized. That should not be the case. It's better you speak up and say, this and this is happening, but I don't want to pursue I don't want to pursue and interface with this person. But it's better you report, nevertheless. And as administrators, we shall find a way of making sure we do our own investigations and bringing it to a fruitful conclusion. But if you keep quiet, then it doesn't help us. These policies won't serve you, they won't serve us as an institution. So if you have a challenge of any kind, you can just say, I want to report this, but I don't want to be called to be a witness. That is still okay. We can still do something about it to stop some of these vices, because we know people are silently suffering because of fear of victimization. And the policy is meant to protect us. There's also a policy on HIV to help us manage the HIV pandemic. Is still here with us, and we know that Mbarara City and Mbarara District, the prevalence is higher than the national prevalence. So we really need to know that HIV is here with us, but these policies there to help us plan activities, plan programs that can help our health. There are, of course, other general rules and regulations for students. The academic register has a whole big load of rules and regulations, especially as you navigate the academic journey. All those are for your consumption. But the challenge we have is we don't know about these policies. We may hear about them, but we don't even want to read a few paragraphs and know what they are talking about. I would encourage you to go to the MUST website and scan through in your free time and see where can I be helped. What is there to support me? So be informed, because that's also one very important thing, to be informed. You shouldn't be ignorant as university students or as women, because these are for our own benefit and for our own good. So those are a few of the policies, unless there is a specific question about any, but briefly that's what I can say.
Thank you so much about that. Then another question goes to the academic registrar. How can women make money and spend it happily? That is women's financial empowerment and service.
Marinta, this is a topic on its own. But all financial books will tell you it takes time to make money. And that's the bad news that young people don't want to hear. We want to get a job, borrow and get to drive a car, have a certain type of dress code, and yet it takes time. I've worked 25 years. It takes time to grow money. So what can you do? You start small. The principle about money is once you get it, you save a bit of it. And when you begin to save, you begin to invest in what you understand. Now I'll tell you, I told you in my talk that I've done so many side hustles, some of which I got something and some I did not. I burnt my fingers, but that became school fees. But what has worked for me is what we call money markets. Because I have a busy job, so I can't be in office, then I have a shop, then I have what. So after running so many small businesses, I found what benefits me, and that is money markets, which all of you can do. Before I forget, if you get free time, just Google NSSF literacy, financial literacy classes. NSSF financial. They have so many videos that they have put there because they invite so many people who talk about financial management, and they tell you from the minimum how you start poultry and how you. But let me just tell you about financial markets. Those are money markets. Have you heard of treasury bills, bonds, stocks? You can start with only 100,000 to buy treasury bills. They are bought through the Bank of Uganda. You use your bank. They keep those for 3 months. You get interest. Or there's what we call unit trusts. You get unit trusts with a little money used. So don't ever put your money in the bank to stay there for 3 months. So any of these, like I have there is what we call UAP, they sell unit trusts. There is ICEA, they sell unit trusts. But as I said, it takes a lot more explanations for this. Now the simple hustles like jewelry making, I have seen you teaching people how to make soap, those. Try as much as possible to do what you understand in order to make money. If you have 5,000, ensure that you grow that 5,000 to 500 shillings. When you get that 500 shillings, don't despise it. Keep that 500 shillings. I learned this from my mother and my grandmother. These were women who didn't have a lot, but I saw my grandmother always having, you know where grandmothers keep money? I don't know whether your grandmothers do, but my grandmother used to keep her money in a cloth and put it here or somewhere here. But she always had money, and yet she wasn't working. And then for my mother, I always saw her, she had a box where she would save money for a rainy day. And then from when the money would accumulate, she had a shop, she would put in her shop and save. Saving is the principle. When you save money, you buy something that is an investment, then again you save. Don't eat the savings. Ensure that you save at least 10%. If you have 2,000 shillings, what is 10% of 2,000? And it will take time, but it will grow. And let me tell you a secret. If you start now, had I started at your age, I would be very rich, but I started like 5 years into my job. That's when I started getting money, save it, buy unit trusts, buy bonds, buy what. And it takes time. And then you work within your means. You know, we love class in Uganda. So I remember I had a big car, I had a Prado. But when I looked at my salary vis-a-vis this, I thought I was living beyond my means. I was living the title era. But in reality, the money was not as much. So I told my husband, let's put away this car and get what we can afford. And the world will not respect you very much, but it's okay, they don't know what is in your account. So live within your means. Don't buy that expensive shoe of 20K if you can buy the shoe of 5K. Are they there? Or 5K? Hey, if your auntie gives you 20K, buy the shoe of 5K, keep the other 5K. So, but the other thing that, and I learned this from one of my daughters, after she did her BBA, she failed to get a job. So her mother invested into a cake making business. She took her daughter for one of these cake making businesses. She was there for 6 months. Today the girl is making cakes. She makes a cake not below 1 million Uganda shillings. But this is a girl who studied BBA and failed to get money. So if you know how to cook, even if you have done engineering, and you know for you are passionate about cooking, you do that. There's a girl recently, and I'll close with this, how to make money and spend it happily. There's one of our, I can actually mention her, she won't, Fiona. Fiona was one of the gender ministers here, and she did economics and management. So before she got a job, Fiona set up an ice cream machine. Somewhere, is it in Tasso? Even here at the university. So I sat with her, I said, Fiona, how much do you make? She says, because she was a good talker, she would talk. She says, Martha, anybody that passes me, I have to sell an ice cream. So she said at the end of the day, she would get about 100,000. Unfortunately, and I really blame her for this, when she got a job, of course we all want jobs, so she gets a job, goes very far, now the job has closed, now she's looking for a job. But I told her, you were good with that ice cream. Can you do it again? Because she has a gift of, she's a seller. If Fiona walked in here, all of you would buy that ice cream, even if you didn't want. So what is it that you know how to do? She says she's teaching in her free time. So as you teach, that money that you get, of course now some of you have expenses of fees. But if at all there is one or two people here who are able to save a little of that, as the MP said, you are lucky that you still have parents, guardians, sponsors who are giving you money. Save it and then invest it. Don't eat it. And allow yourself to hustle a bit. Don't run for quick riches. Don't get into any venture that is too good to be true. I have gotten into ventures which are too good to be true. Have you heard of forex trading? I went there. I lost money. And I knew it was too good. My head told me. But I saw people getting money. So I said, let me go there. I lost. Then I remember I had some little money after work. I decided, money, I mean the trucks make money. I had this mechanic. Can you imagine a mechanic was telling me, madam, let's buy a car. So, and my father said, but why are you buying that car when you have no interest, first of all, and no knowledge? In other words, do something you know about. I said, the mechanic will manage it. Friends, I got my savings. I bought that car. After 3 months, I started making losses. So don't go into any business where you have no knowledge. Don't go into a salon when you're not going to, when you don't know about salon because your friends have started salon. Don't go into boutique because, so Marianita has started a boutique and it's doing well. For you, what are you going to do well? And be there, I'll close with it. Be in the business. I'm told now in Uganda, if you have a business, say you have a shop, you set up a shop, you put somebody there, a young person. What is going to happen is if it is water, when you are away, the person will bring their own water, sell the water, you'll come back in the evening and the person says, but there's nothing we sold. Recently, a friend told me she went to buy shoes, and this owner has a camera in the shop. So when she was paying, the man put a suka over the camera and got a shoe from elsewhere and gave it in. And so this girl knew that the owner's shoes were not being sold. The man was selling his shoes. So whatever business you start, make sure you're going to be the manager. But start small, save whatever. Even if you, let me tell you, even if you save 100 shillings, and I'm talking because I'm talking to students, but some of you students have money. If you have money, I had a niece who was being sponsored by Fawe. And you know these sponsors give a lot of money. So she would have 1 million. And I would tell her, university is good. After you graduate, you will not have a job immediately. Ensure that you plan for that money. And I thought she had listened to me. After university, the millions disappeared. You can imagine. Then she went back to the street. So whatever money you have, how to make money, the principle is save it and then invest it. And don't eat it up. You'll eat it up when you have got enough. Have I communicated?
Just want to add, having money is a good thing. So aim to make your money. And like she has said, save, invest. This savings account, those of you who want to be bankers, or if you are a banker and you're here, banks don't make money for you. They make money from you. They use your money to make money. So if you have where to invest it, what she has talked about, for me, unit trusts work for me very well. Treasury bonds work for me. I put my money there. And I make, money keeps making itself when you are seated. Okay? So know about those things, read about them, the money markets, the capital markets, and choose what is suitable, and it will work.
Okay. The next question goes to Her Excellency Daisy. Are you on? She's on. Okay. What are the ways to step up solidarity for women's progress and visibility? What are the ways to step up solidarity for women's progress and visibility?
Okay. Am I on? All right. Thank you so much. First of all, I'd want to begin with one. One of the ways is by supporting women's health and well-being. As a woman, I believe you cannot be active or you cannot go with your day-to-day if emotionally, financially, and then maybe health-wise, you're not okay. For example, one thing I want us to acknowledge is that when you're sick, you can't do much. When you're going through so much at home, we have people coming from different backgrounds at the university. So whenever we come to the university, you find that we are coming from you don't know what someone is going through at home. But the moment you fail to acknowledge what your sister is going through, or you fail to actually bother to ask what is going on, I think I have a life example. A friend of mine in secondary had an issue. The father left the country. He was Sudanese, so he said he wasn't going to continue paying for our tuition. Now we were in our final years, and truth to be told, there was no way, like being in S4 and you have to do final papers and you don't have tuition. So it reached a point of them being like left alone with their siblings, until when I continued seeing that she was missing out in class, she wasn't coming forward. I reached out to her and she explained to me. So I took the issue to my mom, who went ahead to pay tuition until the end of the papers. But I can assure you, right now, she's in a different country. She's graduating this December with a first class, and she was the best in her cohort after receiving a scholarship based on grades. So she wouldn't have achieved that if someone would have failed to reach out to her. The entire hostel, I even remember people giving her food, everyone would pitch in. It was us with her. You get? The problem is that when we come to the university, we tend to think that everyone is okay. That's why you find that the cases of people who die and you actually don't know what has killed them. You don't know if it's depression, you don't know if it's hunger, you don't know if someone is actually lucky, because you are not the type of person who someone can come and open up to, or come and actually tell them, you know what, this and this wrong. So my first and it's your well-being that matters a lot. You may not have much, but the moment your mind is set, you will go to class, you will read. The moment you have the rightful people around you, or the moment you are the rightful person to be around, you will encourage a lot of women to be better each and every day. Secondly, I believe by amplifying women's voices and stories. You see, the moment I wish during this session we had more of people talking about experiences as what they've gone through as a woman, so far what they've gone through as I'm seeing the many first year students I was following through. And if we could ask these ladies, so far, how have you found campus? How have you found this and this? How have you found, like, when you went to campus, when you went home, was there any difference? Because there are those changes that happen. So the moment we have those stories out, even someone who's there and is going through a tough time will be like, okay, I'm confident enough to share a story. Even if it's writing a tweet and someone actually putting out something they've been through, that's amplifying someone's voice, but in a safe space. Some people are openly able to express themselves. Some people are not openly able to express themselves. As a lady, we mostly fear what people think about us, and it's a mindset that we need to put on hold. So that being said, I believe if we can amplify through stories, the social media that we use to spread wrong information, to to put terror in other people's lives. I believe this social media, we can use it for a very impactful reason, and we can enable to talk. If we can have a social media Twitter spaces and have people on board, we speak about these problems, we pick a topic maybe per month, maybe per week, and speak. I can assure you that people who are going to be more open. Also, leadership and participation. I believe that's one of another way, because with leadership, it opens up so many spaces to you. I can assure you, my entire holiday was taken up. Last semester was taken up. You get these opportunities to speaking in places with big people, meeting new people, learning experiences from the older women, because people have gone through so much. The more you go for these workshops, the more you go for these talks. Actually, I am so happy with the turn up of this talk of the Women's Day event today. I've seen the videos. It's so overwhelming, and may God bless you all. You turning up in such a space, you will not be the same. You are networking with someone who's going to be, who's going to help you tomorrow, or who you are going to help tomorrow. So all these spaces come through leadership, come through participation. Don't be left behind. As a woman, don't be left behind. Always endeavor to push, to also be seen, to also speak. You get, your participation matters. We have empowered women. That's why I started up skilling guild skilling Saturdays, because I believed each person, if you can get something that you can have as a side. One thing I noticed, I had a team, we used to skill in Wakiso, we skilled in different schools. I went to high school, we skilled. But one thing that why I brought it to the university was, one, because I wanted people to acknowledge the fact that it's not all about your papers. It's okay, you can study, you can get that first class, but tomorrow is never assured. But if you have that skill, the skill of making jelly, the skill of making chalk, you can go back and actually start up a business and work with that skill. So you need to look beyond and participate. If there's an activity, if there's Women's Day, attend, listen. You learn so much. And also, one more thing is mindset. How can I say this? Mindset sessions should be encouraged a lot, because most times it's actually you don't stop yourself from being the best. It's just that your mind has closed in that you are not enough. Maybe you're not like Madame Martha. Maybe she's educated, maybe she's well spoken. But the moment you change your mindset and you say, whether I have good English or not, whether I come from this background or not, if I am meant to be great, I will be great. That is why you are able to stand in places and speak. And I can assure you, wherever you stand as a woman, you are inspiring more behind you. It doesn't matter if you're well polished, or what people usually term as, oh, she has come in, she's very smart, she looks organized, you don't need to have those big English words for you to be very confident in what you say, in how you present yourself. Secondly, we need to raise awareness through education. One thing is that the way you move to other people and speak to them and educate them about the different policies, like how Madame talked about, the way you talk about, you go to the workshops and train them, that is education. That is purely awareness through education, which is something that's very effective. People actually come from backgrounds where they're not so sure about some things, but if you come and educate them and you tell them it is okay to stand up and say no, if someone is sexually harassing you, whether they're giving you marks or not, it's not the rightful way. You can get that retake, it's okay, and you still come back and you work hard for a better one. That is why for everyone who comes and you open up, you need to know you are safe. The Dean's office is there, Madam AR is there to listen to you, and I can assure you, you will be helped. But the moment you close yourself and you don't go for these educative sessions, I believe you never understand that you can actually speak out and people listen to you. Basically, that is it. Above all, know yourself and stay true to yourself. As a leader, I will always tell this to people. I don't think I am the best. I don't think I know it all. Every day I learn, every day I try out something new. But what keeps me going is that the people that we see that are successful now, any dream that you wish for, you should always push for it. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, our guild president. We are really thankful for your response and for turning up. So now we are going to questions and answers. You're going to ask questions as they respond. Then after there, we go for cake cutting. And after that, we shall have awarding of certificates as we close our session. So now I can attain.
It's a good afternoon once again. Somebody is saying, now why is this man asking a lot? I know you're tired, but let's listen. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. May I have a question? It goes directly to the people on that high table. I think we are the ones who are on high table, on the lower table. So my question is that Madam AR has talked about the NSSF financial literacy currency in the financial markets. So I'm having a question. It's really burning me. These are the, let me call them like the courses, where we can learn to make direct money through investing. And the university, the whole university doesn't have any course like that, where you can even get more money. Like, we are taught to go and look for jobs. Maybe like a suggestion, I don't have a power maybe to say, but if it is possible, you know these things, me I didn't know that they still exist. You get us a course like this where we study and invest so that we can make the money. Another question. Okay, it's a say because the member of parliament said, say it. That must be true and must be right. So as if he was talking to me, I was really forgetting to say it. And Honorable Kobumanzi is nowhere to be seen. Madam, I'm of the view that me, myself, I know how to make some products like Vaseline, school chalk, hair treatments, lotions, perfumes. And I would really wish to join you, your team, when you're skilling people. I do also be there to extend my services at a free cost. That was the point which was burning me. Thank you very much.
The question is why we as a university don't have such sessions. By the way, the business faculty, they are there. They are there, so it's just about looking for them. So go to business faculty, but now with faculty of science, the way you are overloaded with the 40 credit units, where will you get time? But in your free time, go to faculty of business. But the other thing I have told you, Just turn on NSSF literacy classes and you will see it's YouTube, very free. And I love the way they explain, because they get real people, your parents, your brothers, your sisters who have made it. And they tell you. The other day Kabushenga was telling us how to plant coffee. And he convinced me that I should also get into coffee. Kabushenga was the managing director of New Vision. Now he's into coffee. You will find a young woman telling you about goat rearing. So you listen to people's real stories. There's a woman who talked about she was from a very, very rich family. Then they suddenly became poor. Then she was in a bank. Then she went out, and what she's doing now from the lesson. So it is real people like you and me. Just listen to them. NSSF literacy classes, YouTube.
So then to add on, we have a group, it is called Mentor Her. So we are looking on to doing more projects, it is in plan. So we will be grateful to have you to teach us.
Thank you very much. What you've just talked about is Mentor Her, and I'm saying he's a gentleman. I don't know how. Okay. My name is Nisima Dokas. I am a finalist of Electric and Electronics Engineering. I want to thank the speakers of today, and I want to also thank the organizers. I have about 2 questions. The first is about the role of women in fostering equality, because this is what you're talking about, but I feel like it is just serving women. Yes, it's women empowerment. We are just being served, but isn't there roles that we are supposed to play to contribute to achieving that equality? And what is that? What are those roles that we are supposed to play as women? Or how can we contribute to that? Then, the second, how do we overcome the barriers in male-dominated fields? For example, I'm doing engineering, and you find, yes, we know that there's equality and all that, but still we know that this competition is still there. We have this inside urge of knowing that we have to be supported as women. You see, even when we are applying for like jobs or opportunities, they'll be like, women will be given priority, or first priority. But then, isn't there a way we can get empowered or do these things without the need to be supported or to be applauded? Because I feel like once you have gotten inside there, this other support and everything about women, it is gone. You're facing reality, you're meeting men, they are competing with you. When for you entered expecting support, but they are competing with you. So how are we supposed to have that self-confidence to know that you are at the same pace and you are supposed to go all in by your own self? Thank you. As the ladies, how are we supposed to contribute to achieving equality? Are there roles that we are supposed to play as ladies or women?
This equality question is very... what I believe in is equal opportunities. If we are in a space, can we be given equal opportunities? Can we be treated the same? But of course, we face challenges as women. Let's face it. There are certain things we may not, that may disadvantage us. For instance, if let's say these were lectures, this was a lecture time, and every Saturday we have to be here to study or to teach, it would be difficult for women. especially if you are a mother, you are a wife, there are things that will hinder if you're not supported. So believe you me or not, we need support wherever we go, whether we are men, whether we are women. If you are a man and your wife is not supportive, it will challenge you at work. If you're a wife and your husband is not supportive, it will also be a challenge. So we need the environment where we should be supported. We need a support system from our family, from friends. If my husband would say, I want you to stop working, then he has become a husband who is not supportive. We need to be supported. We need to have, the other day I was listening to this, the CEO of Nation Media Group, and she was talking about herself. She was like, when she got into that space, she had the support system from family, from friends, from the husband, the workmates, everybody was there to support her in order to do her job. So even if we achieve equality, we still need support wherever we are. We need an environment that will enable us achieve what we want to achieve. And that environment can be at the workspace or outside the workspace. So that's my personal view, but equality is there. We can achieve it, but we need support systems around us to enable us achieve that equality. So we cannot go it alone. You cannot say, I will do it alone. Daisy here has just said, we cannot be perfect. We cannot do, and the other thing is you cannot do everything. So let's get the support. Let's enjoy our space. Let's say, me, I'm empowered, I don't need you. No, we need other people, we need each other.
I also want to respond to both of your questions. So I think with the first one, with asking what is our role, what is women's role, I think if you look at history and a lot of the feminist movements, whether it's first, second, third, African feminism, they're all led by women. Like, it's women doing this work for ourselves. So in what role you can play in that, I think a large part of it is looking at, okay, maybe what roles or what organizations are out there advocating for feminist work, doing the kind of work that maybe you want to get involved in, and reaching out to them and saying, hey, I'm interested in maybe volunteering for an event, writing for a blog, and kind of seeing what you can play in that space. A lot of it also comes from maybe reading books or watching films that you haven't seen before. I read quite a good book recently. It was Decolonizing Afrofeminism by Sylvia Tamale, and she's Ugandan, so a lot of it is about the Ugandan context as well. So I'd really recommend reading that to kind of see the history of feminism within Africa and the Ugandan context. And even in that book as well, it outlines, okay, what can we do to achieve these next steps of equality that, every woman globally is looking for. Obviously, it looks different in England where I live versus here, but at the end of the day, everybody does want the same goal. And then going to your next point about, so if you get a job and you're in a male-dominated space, how do you navigate that? How do you deal with that? I guess regardless, if you're an engineering job, likely for a while it will be a male-dominated space until more women get into this space, whether they're not doing it because they're not interested or because they feel like they can't enter that space in general. But you're going to be competing in jobs with men, women, different races, different religions, everywhere you go in the world. And so I think this idea of support is very important in a job. So previous jobs I've had, I used to work for a charity in the UK that was very female dominated, yet almost every senior management role was held by men. So that didn't make any sense because 75% of the staff was women. And even in that job, they didn't want to give us free menstrual products in the toilet, yet 3/4 of their staff were women. So we created a women in leadership group in the organization, and it welcomed men, and it said men are welcome to join, but yet men complained that they didn't have a men in leadership group, but then men are already in leadership there, and also if they want a group, they can start it. So it's kind of looking at these ways of maybe if you do get a job in this field, there's a few women there, and you can start a group supporting each other, or even like you'll have a line manager, and they'll be giving you performance reviews. So if you're performing well and you're doing your job and you're getting good feedback, like that should be enough reassurance as well when you're competing against men to be like, okay, we're doing the exact same job, I'm getting really good feedback, and whether or not, if they are or they aren't, it doesn't impact you that much. But the thing is that you are looking out for yourself and seeking those networks of support where you can find them in a space.
Thank you, Madison. I want to add what she talked about a book. Maureen also talked about a book. For this, I would like to encourage you to, there is a book that I read, and I read it a lot, and I don't lend it out because I'm a woman in management. It's called Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. She's a coach for women, and it's very interesting, written by somebody in the US, but very relatable to hear how we are able to. So that question is also there answered, how you can find your space in a male-dominated place, some of the things we women do that block ourselves. And you know, if you're not a reader, I love the internet, YouTube, you download these videos and you listen to them. So please be encouraged to read. If you're not a reader, don't worry, just download for those books that can be downloaded, and then you will get to know. The other thing before I forget, as you want to get into spaces and have your voice, as Honorable Rita was talking, you people are social media freaks, I think. So I hope all of you have LinkedIn where you can put your skills, and then it can always tell you which skill, where there's an opening. So if all of you have social, LinkedIn accounts, yeah, because there you can easily find your voice. You can easily know who is looking for what where. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So right now, you forgive me, I'm just going to close the panel. And because one of our speakers is going somewhere else, so I wanted to gift her with a shirt. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for being with us. And when you go, please thank Period Talk Uganda. We also had a certificate for you, so I think I will give it to him. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. It was nice to be here. Hopefully see everybody again sometime soon.
Then another shirt goes to our AR. Yeah, thank you for sparing it. So at this time, we are going for cake cutting. Then after, we give out the certificates as we go for lunch. Yeah.
I was brought to this world to preach to every kindred of His mercy and love. In every kindness I show, in everything that I do, I've been chosen by my God to testify. A woman of God and His masterpiece, chosen, loved, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell, and forever will I shine. His redemptive love, sharing God's love and mercy, forgiveness and joy. I will not be afraid. God is walking by my side. I will go forward with His path. The ending is near. Our man of God, I'm His masterpiece. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell, and forever will I shout and sing. Lord, I will go. Our man of God, I'm His masterpiece. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. And forever will I shout and sing. Lord, I will go.
Yeah. So we shall first give out.
United in God's love, sisters in grace, looking to Jesus to lead us each day.
has really been active, and I also have a shirt for you. Yeah, thank you for being active.
It's all about your time. It's all about the things you've become in your life. You know the stuff you're made of. You know you're on your way. You know you've got all that it takes. You've got what it takes to live your dreams in this lifetime. This is the moment. I'm trying to write you this song, but I can hardly see the page at all, 'cause it's breaking my heart.